Fellow book nerds, in this video we're going to talk about Mockingjay. It's the book review for Mockingjay and it's a lot of info, so I'm going to try to keep it short. We're going to try to do that, but let's jump right into it because it's a lot. So we're going to start off with the story of this book. It's not my favorite of the three. My favorite one is probably the first one of the three. Oh, I guess I should show it to you. I got the one with the movie cover. I couldn't find the other one, but whatever. But okay, when I first read it, we'll start with that. When I first read it, I loved it. I loved it. I was shocked every moment. I was crying. It was just a bunch of emotions all over the place. But when I sat down and started really thinking about it, after all the emotions were chill, I had a lot of issues with the book. I found a lot of them. First one, I felt like it was really rushed. Like this book could have been, my suggestion would probably be it could have been 2 books and extended the war, because a war does not end this fast. Even though it doesn't say like time wise how long it took, it could have been extended, I feel. But that's my first issue with the story. I do love that the emotions of the characters, everything that they go through, all the trauma is there and you can see it and feel it and grasp it, because there's a lot of, books and movies that have characters that go through a bunch of stuff and they are still fine, and that doesn't really make any sense. So I'm glad that she kept that part, and it was really well told. The last thing, and this is why I say it was rushed, because it wasn't that believable. There was one thing specifically, and that's the one I'm going to mention, is when Katniss goes to try to kill Snow, and she's planning to go on her own to kill Snow. Obviously this is completely illogical. Like, how on earth is she going to do that in the capital? For one, she's one of the most recognized people ever in the whole place, especially the capital. She's loved and hated the same way. She is one person. She has no idea how the capital pretty much is laid out. She's been there but not really discovered the whole place, so it just doesn't seem believable to me. And even worse, they follow her. Like, they follow to go with her to try and kill Snow. I don't see how that is possible. How someone would be like, oh yes, this is possible. Like Katniss, I could see a little bit because she's not completely there, she's hurt, how can I say this? I want to say insane, slightly crazy maybe, but it doesn't make sense to me. So that's the issues I have with the story, and that's why I think if she would have put it into 2 books, it would have been amazing and it would have been a lot more believable. There's a lot of other things about that I find that were kind of bugging me, but I'm gonna ignore those for now. But let's talk about the characters, starting with Katniss, and I'm probably just going to focus mostly on Katniss. I do love her through the book. You're still rooting for her to overthrow the capital, to overthrow Snow. Through the whole thing, through this whole book, you still see her struggling. Like, I love that it's not just the love character part thing, that it's also her want to overthrow Snow and her want to overcome this poverty-stricken craziness that he has implemented in this world, and she just wants to, she's striving for all that, right? And eventually she does take the role of the Mockingjay. In the beginning she doesn't want to because, well, she lost Peeta, she lost Cinna, she is an emotional wreck pretty much. She's depressed, she probably has post-traumatic stress disorder and a bunch of other things that I have absolutely no comprehension of, but she is suffering through all these things and she doesn't want to become the Mockingjay. But finally something pushes her when she sees what happens at 12, what happened especially when she sees what happens to 12, that's what really pushes her to want to become the Mockingjay for revenge, pretty much. And obviously she still wants to save Peeta. So there's a bunch of things going on in her that she eventually rises up to the post of becoming the Mockingjay, which is really awesome. And it's like a very great moment, especially when they give her the sketch for her suit that Cinna designed. That part, I loved it. So skipping a bit forward to when Prim dies, I mean, you go through this whole thing of her becoming the Mockingjay and finally realizing that Snow is using Peeta to manipulate her and to hurt her in a way, and then finally they bring Peeta back, and Peeta tries to kill her, which is insane, but it's slightly not believable, but in a way it is. But I still love that part where he tries to kill her. Like, it's so shocking that you can't really grasp it, but she goes through that and she realizes that Peeta doesn't love her anymore, all of that. And then finally at the end, when she's supposedly close to killing Snow, Prim shows up and she's trying to help little kids, but then they are bombed and she dies in that spot. I'm gonna be honest with you, when I read that the first time, I was just like, wait, what? And I had to reread it to realize, because like all of a sudden it's like just randomly Prim shows up and you're just like, what? I honestly thought for a second I thought she was dreaming or like imagining her that she was there, not that she was actually there. But when you finally realize that she's actually there and she actually died, ooh, that was very emotional. I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not pretty sure, I cried when that happened. But having her sister die, she pretty much loses all hope. Like, she had at least a little hope when Peeta was taken that she could get him back, but with Prim dying, she like loses everything. She loses her hope. She pretty much has absolutely no desire to live, and that's something hard to overcome. And I think also, again, that part could have been probably better written. Like, it kind of jumps from her being severely low to all of a sudden being with Peeta and not being happy again, but being able to see some hope in the future, right? And then the epilogue is like, whoo, she has children. But it's very fascinating, that part. Like I said, it could have been written so much better in 2 books because you can get really deep into it. I do respect Suzanne Collins in this, that she was able to take this amazing character and not have a war and still have people die and have it be somewhat realistic, but some of it is not. So those are the things that bug me. But Katniss as a character is super strong. She's an amazing character who goes through so much and still tries to pursue until the end. Now, the fascinating, amazing thing is that she kills Coin instead of Snow, because Coin, as we all know, is, from the beginning, I pretty much figured she's like Snow. She uses whatever means to gain power. But those are the 2 other characters I wanted to talk about, Snow and Coin. They're like 2 peas in a pod. They're the same person. They're both power-seeking characters. That's all they want. Snow just already has power, and now Coin wants to achieve more power over all the districts. When Katniss finds out or figures it out that it wasn't Snow who killed her sister but actually Coin, that I love it when she made the decision that she was the one that was going to kill Coin instead of Snow, because Snow was already doomed at that point, but Coin could be a lot worse, and she was just like, nope, and she kills her instead, which I find amazingly fascinating. So overall, I was okay with that. I think I liked that decision of hers, even though it might seem bad, like she took judgment into her own hands, but I mean, she is that character. She is willing to kill people to save others. She has that in her, so I don't see how it's unbelievable that she would do that. Okay, let's go into my reaction. I feel like you've seen my reaction during this whole thing, right? Let's go into the things that I hate. Obviously, Finnick dying. I was so built into the character of Finnick. I loved him. I thought he was amazing, funny, sweet, and his love for Annie was just great. They had like a love that you would envy, and actually Katniss does envy their love because it's so real and so sure. She's so sure that they love you. They're so sure that they love each other, which is great. So I was so heartbroken when Finnick died. I kind of saw it coming, I must admit, because I mean they got married and then he goes. Like, you just have to know that he's not coming back. Like, breaks my heart, but it's true. So I hated that part. And obviously Prim dying. That part I pretty much broke down. I had to close the book after realizing it and just like compose myself for a second, because there was no way I could keep reading that without actually like feeling the emotions of pain of Katniss. I had to take a moment, just take a moment and realize what happened. The more I think about it, another thing that I hate, the more I think about it, I can't imagine if this was 2 books. It would have been so great. Like this is already an amazing story, but if you like made it longer, I think it would have been amazing. Just amazing. So I do highly recommend reading these books. If you haven't, I mean, come on, where have you been? Read them. They're amazing. The books are so much better than the movie. They always are. The first and second movies were good. I thought they were good. Even though the second one is kind of takes a while to get to like the really bit of the story. But these 2 movies, oh my gosh. The first one, I must admit, was really boring. Like, I got through it. I thought it was slightly interesting, and I was just trying to connect. In my mind, I was just trying to connect the movie to the book and see what was saying, what was different, and I was like, what are you doing to the book? But the second one was a lot better. So much better, but not that great. I must admit, it's not that great, but it's still pretty good. It's a lot better. So I do recommend the book more than the movie, because it makes a lot more sense in the story, but the movie's still okay. The books are so much better. Last and final thought. This was not my favorite of the 3. I like the first one more. That's probably my favorite one. So this is slightly, I think a lot of people were very disappointed in this book. I don't know if they were disappointed or just sad how it ended. I don't know if they were probably just sad that she ended up with Peeta instead of Gale. That part doesn't bug me that much, well, because I was rooting for Peeta. Maybe that's why. But overall, it could have been better with another book. I really think that'd be so cool if she could do that, just like break this book in half and write another 2. But okay, I can't think of that anymore. But okay, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe. If you have any comments on this at all, leave it down below. Tell me your thoughts on the book, if you loved it, if you hated it, and all the plot points in the book. Tell me all about it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.